It's at 6 p.m. on a Friday. Da 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 da. What you got?
Closing time.
Nah, it's a different song. Man, you mixing Billy Joel? Come on.
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock on a Friday. I submitted an application 2 days before that, and then I got a rejection. Welcome to the Interim Era, the Interim Era podcast. Now, Mark, you have no idea why we're here or what we're doing, other than the fact that we've been talking about starting a podcast for a few weeks.
Yep.
We've known each other for about 10 years. We've worked together twice. And we both find ourselves in the interim era. We're
Yeah.
both,
Just to be clear, I would work with you again. So if that counts for anything.
I mean, I would work with you again too, but we're still trying to figure out where we go from here. So
That's a different song.
it is a completely different song than where we started with. So my name is Matt C. I have spent the last 20 plus years in marketing and communications, in all kinds of different industries, from everything from hospitality to healthcare to retail and online education. And Mark and I have bumped around in some of those areas as well. Mark,
Yeah,
you want
I'm Mark Palmer. I have a creative background. I've also been running around this industry for about 20 years, a little bit over. And as Matt will tell you, I'm a little bit older than him, like what, 9 months? So,
at least 10 years?
but I wear it well. So,
You definitely wear it. So, as you said, or as I said earlier, you don't know why you're here, other than the fact that I said, "Hey, I want to do a podcast. I want to bring you on," and you knew something had me fired up.
yep. And
So,
to be fair, I usually don't know what's going on. So, I mean, come on. I just do
I
good with
think
that.
this is, if you get to know me a little bit closer than just on LinkedIn, you'll know that this is how it usually goes with me. It's an idea, and I grab Mark, and we take off running, and we see what happens. And
Turn
welcome,
it
you're
into
a part of
awesome.
that. So let me set up what happened. I've been looking for a new role. I find myself after 21 years being laid off for the first time. And I have, for the last 4 months or so, been poking around and trying to find something new. And as many know that are in this, then kind of in this interim era, know that it is crazy out there right now, trying to find a new role, trying not to get ghosted, trying to get in front of anyone. Outside of sitting in front of the front door of these places and begging to talk to someone as they come in.
They don't
I
like
think,
that.
yeah, they don't like that. But
Yeah,
I kind of
that's
think
frowned upon.
we've done some of those things, or at least felt like we want to do some of those things. So I have found a few roles, which I'm sure everyone listening to this has, that they are extremely excited about, as well as extremely connected to. And I jumped on it. I got super excited. I applied for this role about, I don't know, 2.5 or so weeks ago. Did all the tailoring of the resume. I found a contact that works there, that I had previously ran up with, and kind of worked together for a brief period of time at another role. And it was in the same industry and everything. I was like, man, this is a slam freaking dunk. So I did all the tailoring of the resume. I talked to the contact for about 45 minutes on the phone. Lovely conversation. Learned all of the ins and outs of what the team is building, about what the chief marketing officer or chief communications officer is trying to build there, what they're doing with this role and everything. So, man, I just put together the best cold freaking email you could ever see. I probably would have bought a timeshare somewhere if I received that type of email. Like, I felt that confident about it, and was really excited about it. The contact within there that I had spoke with as well, she handed my resume, hand delivered it. I'm sure it was like wrapped in some type of gold leaf paper with a red bow around it when she gave it to the hiring manager and the actual HR business partner or the recruiter lead for the communications team. And just like everything else over the last 4 months, things went silent and I didn't hear anything. But I know too that at times that doesn't mean the worst, right? It also means that, hey, it takes a little bit of time, right? It's probably a
People are busy.
couple million people that probably applied for that role as well. So it probably takes them, just a little bit of time to go through all of those applications. Still excited, still super pumped about the role. Until Friday at 6 p.m. Such a very interesting time to get a rejection email. Who does that, right? I know that I'm living the semi-retired life or sabbatical life right now, and maybe the days sometimes blend together, and my kids have to remind me if it's Wednesday or Friday. But I knew it was Friday at 6 p.m. When that ran through, and that just triggered me, man. Like it hit me, it hurt, and then that hurt quickly turned to, oh my gosh, I'm pissed, to we've got to tell people about what it's like now. And that's what really triggered me and said, this podcast needs to exist. Mark and I have a massive background in branding, communications, personal branding. We've worked with HR departments and recruiters and all of that to hire, medical assistants all the way up to executive level roles and other things. And I was like, you know what? This needs to happen. So I sat down and started working on it and trying to figure out where it goes from here, right? Because it can't just be me squawking or you squawking, every couple of times. We depend on releasing this thing once or twice a month or once a week or whatever it ends up being. It can't just be us complaining about what it's like in the job market. So, but what really started to kind of get me going as I was like, hold on a second. We've been doing this for so long. We know so many people. We know tons of folks that are not only in the job hunt right now, but are on the hiring side. I've hired tons and tons of people. Mark, I know you've hired
Yeah.
many people on yourself as well. We also know a ton of providers in the mental health space. And this is the most mentally draining exercise I've ever been in, probably since having my first child. So I'm sitting here going, we know all these people. We can bring these people together that can help others, right? So stories, advice, therapy, adjacent kind of banter, whether that's Mark and I having therapy with each other because of things we've gone through, or really talking to some of those mental health providers to say, hey, here's what you can do to get that break so you don't feel like crap, or here's what you can do to reset yourself when you get that 6 p.m. rejection or that Saturday morning rejection. So that's what I want to bring to the people. I want to talk, Mark, to the recruiters that you and I have worked with. I want to talk to some of those providers that you and I have worked with to help people. And then the biggest thing that has surprised me over the last 4 months is, I've seen people go through layoffs and always have that, bit of sympathy for them and wish that I could help more. But never have I been in this position. But I've never seen this many people that I know that are actually going through the same thing right now. Like amazing people that I've worked with or known or been around, not just me and you, Mark, but others that I know, and I know you have more as well, that are
Yeah.
going through the same thing. And I want to bring them on too and have them tell their story as well. So, I really kind of want to, every time we do one of these, be a lay of the land, allowing to give some advice, personal branding advice, things like that, things that you and I are seeing, but then also bring other folks on that we just know and care about to just ask them, what the search is like. So with that, Mark, I want to bring you in to be our first one and ask you these core 3 to 5 questions that I want to ask these others as we bring them on. So you're going to be the first guest, and then we'll get to the big ask at the end because there's an ask in this. But I want to start with you. We've dabbled a little bit with who you are, but What's been your biggest learning from the job search so far?
Oof. I've actually learned a lot that ironically would have been really applicable to previous positions. So just how to speed a lot of things up. Like the the application process now is not what it was 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's completely different, and just leveraging the right tools and strategies, like developing new strategies, is something I think I do like every other day now. One of these will ultimately land something. I read a lot of pieces, but you know, I don't know that I have one single thing except for, man, the world's upside down. And it's interesting, it's fun, um, but it's also scary because, like, I think I told you the other day, it used to be for me, if I sent out three applications, I was going to get a job offer. Like that's been consistent my entire career. And so I always knew that I could bounce into some place if I needed to, and like I've been really lucky. This is, other than one other closing, like this is my first like layoff or reduction in force. So, and I never expected that it would take, even weeks, to find something. So, I guess patience and calmness is something that is probably the biggest thing that I'm learning. So,
Absolutely. And I can't remember, I can't imagine how much time it took you when you first started applying for jobs to actually do your resume because it was probably on a stone tablet with a hammer and a rock, like the Flintstones, and you were having to back, good at
no, but
starting a fire with Flint and all.
it was designed because that's what creatives do. We have pretty resumes, and I've seen a lot of resumes come through, and I kind of know what I was looking for. I want to get to the point pretty quickly. I want to jump to a portfolio. I want to know that you can stick around at a job and last, and not job hump. I always look for some sort of loyalty. So, but yeah, I had to rethink my format, and I have probably three or four times now, if not more. And I've tried a little trick here and there, but it's really about getting through that applicant tracking system, that little tunnel in the Death Star that you got to fly through. And I have no idea. My theory is that a lot of people are making through that with the guidance of AI, and that's kind of what's clogging up the pipes. Like I've read multiple stories about people landing like second jobs, and they have to get they have to get fired or they are let go because they're working too. I'm like, come on, man. Like,
Just want one. Just want, I don't need two or three. I just want one. Yeah, no, red leader. I'm hoping that through this, we can all learn, right? You and I are obviously no experts in this. We're fuddling through it as well. I've hired hundreds of people, like I said earlier, but um, I don't think I looked at the resume as critically as does this look exactly like the job description, et cetera. And it just feels like it's not like you were saying as easy to get it in front of people
yeah.
nowadays.
The other thing that I used to like, I'm notorious for doing this. Um, I don't know if it makes my recruiters' lives easier or not. I guess this is a question we could ask when we bring some people on. But I've always just had them send me everything. I don't want it filtered down. So like I can filter pretty quickly. I can do searches for keywords, and yeah, but I'd rather somebody send me 300 resumes or 3,000 resumes than three,
Yeah, I think
because
that's what
I
people are going to
guarantee.
learn between you and I is that we, and I think I've posted about this on LinkedIn before, but you and I are like maybe I hope, I don't know, when we get some recruiters on here, we'll talk about it, but a recruiter's dream, as in that, like we actually provide feedback, are very involved
Yeah.
in the process and all of that. And I think hopefully there are others out there that will eventually match up with in that same, in that same kind of vein. But we're waiting to get there. All right, I've
Well,
got a couple more questions for you.
generally, if I've written the job description and the listing, then I should probably be the one who's gonna just, yeah, identify what's going to be a good match.
Mark, what are you looking for in your next role? Not just like, hey, I'm looking to lead a creative team or blah blah blah. I mean, I think folks will probably be checking out your background and all of that, but what are you actually looking for?
Yeah, so this is something I've thought a lot about. It's not that big paycheck. It's not the prestige. It's really just being at a place where I feel like I'm putting good into the world. Like I have to take care of my family. It's got to be, a decent amount of money and yeah,
You need to continue to buy your Transformer
I
toys
do.
and
I have
all the
to
other
like feed the
fun
addiction and all
things.
that.
Yeah,
But it's really about being in a place where I feel good about the mission. I can align with it, get behind it, and really champion it. It like that's so important to creative, like really believing in what you're doing. And there's been parts of my career where I didn't believe in what I was doing, and I think the like you can get there, but it's never as strong as when you're really like you feel invested in it. So that and the people, like you mentioned, we've worked together a couple times, and like I love really strong, collaborative, cohesive teams. I always try and build that when I have a team, and yeah, I want people to know each other. I want people to know how to talk to each other, and I want people to enjoy being around each other because those are the things that equate longevity and ultimately end up with better work and better retention and just an enjoyable work environment. So those are the things I'm kind of looking for, other than like looking for something that's in my skill set and all that, which is a pretty wide skill set. But his background is design and leading creative teams, and I think I'm pretty damn good at both.
absolutely. And I think, what you're speaking to is what you're looking for your next role. I mean, you and I've worked together multiple times. We've created those atmospheres, highly creative environments, fun environments, and we've done some pretty damn good work too. So, I think it's hopefully people see our energy here, but I think at the end of the day, we're just looking to create that energy or be a part of that energy somewhere else.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got two more for you. What's one moment through this process, and you and I've kind of been in this process for around the same length of time, that made you feel stuck, or that like sparked something, like my 6 p.m. rejection on a Friday.
Um, I've had some milestones, like the first day where like I didn't have a job anymore. I felt frantic. Um, so I can't tell you how many places I applied. And I was and I still am, was being really picky with where I was looking. And it's frustrating because there's just not a lot out there that truly matches what I'm looking for. So I really try and spend my time because it is a time consuming process to put in the work to apply for a place. Like I know there's a lot of automated systems out there. I'm not doing that. Like I and maybe I should. Somebody could tell me maybe we'll get a recruiter on. They're like, oh yeah, it's a numbers game. Like I don't believe in that. Like it's important to me where I'm going, not that I just go somewhere. So, but that was a moment when my severance ran out, um, which is like fairly recently, actually very recently. Um, that was another oh crap moment. So, but like, okay, kids, this is learning moment. Like you get a bonus, put it in the bank. You
Yeah.
get yeah, like you get a little extra money. Don't run out and well, spend it on Transformers because that's a worthwhile investment. But don't blow it. Like um, don't drink it
Put it
away.
away
Don't
somewhere so you don't have to look at it. Because if you see it every day, you're gonna be like, I can spend this, right?
yeah.
But if you don't have to look at it, then you kind of forget about it.
Yeah. Ideally, look for the best high yield savings account so you still have it accessible and it's liquid, but earn 4% or better and make your money work for you. Like, but I think that's a really big lesson that I've tried to convey to my teams when we've done bonuses and that kind of thing is like don't just go out. Like if you need to spend a little bit of it, get out of credit card debt or whatever, yeah, do that, but put it in the bank, man. And when you get into a season like this, then you got a little bit of padding and you got time and you don't have to rush. to go work at Lowe's with a BFA or something. You know what I mean?
Quick disclaimer, neither Matt nor Mark are financial advisors, and we do not we do not all the other fun legal stuff that I would usually have to put in here if this was a corporate or brand
Yeah,
podcast, right?
but we're not. And so, like, take my advice for what's worth. But I have worked for several financial related brands and have learned a lot in that process too. And um, like, don't load up on credit cards. I think that's
Yeah,
that's one thing I
absolutely.
could tell you.
Absolutely. All right, Mark,
Yep.
last question. I think everybody's already going to know the answer to this based upon our conversation so far, but our favorite interview question that I want to ask every other guest that we have on our podcast, which is, what do you geek out about?
Yeah, this one I've asked for a long time. Like, here's the reason why. Here's why I asked that. Like, when you ask somebody that, if you ask them about a job, they're going to give you their well-practiced answers and their, like, what do you want to do? What do like, what are you looking for? What kind of team do you want to look like? You're not going to see much because it's just kind of rehearsed and essentially transactional. When you ask this question, and I also phrase it in, if you had to do a podcast about something with 100 episodes, what could you stay passionate about for 100 episodes? Um, and it's what it does is it exposes passion, so you start to see what actually lights somebody up, and sometimes you can make connections too. Like, uh, and I mean that in multiple ways. Like sometimes you uncover skill sets that would not have been uncovered otherwise. Like if you are hiring for a content creator and you find out that they also really enjoy photography and illustration or something like that, then holy crap, that's another thing you could
Bonus.
tap into and make them really happy. So yeah, I love this question. But like I geek out on a lot of things. Geeking out on Superman really hard right now because that movie was awesome.
It
Uh,
was. I don't
I
think you haven't fully given me your thoughts yet from our text when I finally saw it, but I'm expecting a full recap from you here
Yeah,
soon.
and like a lifelong geek out on Transformers. Like I have a significant collection, and it's I love the literature and the comics, and I go back to when I was a kid, and that was my thing, and that and Superman were my things. So those are things that I love. But yeah, those are things I could probably do a podcast on. I've got a ridiculous amount of knowledge on Transformers.
I don't know if people would call it knowledge, but okay, that works.
But yeah, I'm big fan of that brand. I don't always love everything they do, but it's something I have watched, and yeah, I love Hasbro so much that I've even purchased a good amount of their stock. So if you will go buy Transformers products, I'd really appreciate it because I could use that
Use an
that
extra
additional
quarter
income.
every quarter. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right, Mark. So the last question. So you want to make a podcast with me?
Yeah, man, let's do it.